From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth, a special Jaguars edition right here at Tommy Mac's back at the bar, brought to our good friends at Goodfellas Cigar Lounge and Spirits, the Southern Grill on the South Bank, and the Wealth Advisory Team of Bruss Nutter in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. We've got Brian Sexton here, the original voice of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and my good friend from 1995. Let's welcome in. Brian, how are you,
What's up,
my
big
man?
boy? I'm good. How are you?
Great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking the time and being on the show.
Easy to do. You know, talking is never my problem.
Never. Stopping talking.
Yeah,
The gift
for sure.
of gab, as our mothers both probably tell us.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
No
the Irish
doubt.
in us.
That's right. You're right about that. 1995. Actually, you were 1994.
Yeah,
you said that during the alumni weekend.
I just celebrated, started my 29th year.
Yeah.
With the Jaguars. Been around since there wasn't a team, since the stadium was just the upper west deck,
Right.
and a mud pit underneath. So
Yeah.
it's been a blessing to see it come this far, and I'd like to see it continue.
Where were you before you came to
I
Jacksonville?
was in Kansas. I was
Kansas, that's right.
In
That's
Wichita,
right.
Kansas.
That's right, man.
I was glad to get out of there.
Yeah, and then you came here and you never left, like a lot of us.
Well, it's hard not to want to stay.
Yeah.
It's such a welcoming community, and I got in with the Jaguars, and I watched it grow, and I grew, and
Ground
met
floor.
my wife here, my kids were born here.
Yeah.
I tell people that Jacksonville is that shining city on a hill for me. You know,
Yeah.
It just is. It's over delivered and under promised.
Yeah, I tell you one thing about the Jags in the community, the pulse is per the Jags.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that you could say that about a lot of cities,
Yeah.
but some of these cities are so massive
Right.
that you don't really feel it. Here, you feel it. When they win, you're in such a great mood.
Right.
The stands are packed. Everybody's jacked up. Monday's fun. Friday's fun. The whole week's pretty much fun, except maybe Tuesday. You know what I mean? And then when they lose, you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, we've done a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we've
that's
done too
what
much
makes
of that
our
lately.
community special, I think.
There's no doubt, because people feel it. So I'm in line at Publix,
Yep.
and someone wants to tell me what they didn't like, and I have to sit there and smile and take it.
Yeah.
And then conversely, there's someone that wants to tell you about the great experience they had in the stadium.
Yeah.
The customer service was great. They can't wait to take their kids and go back. So it's a little bit like Green Bay, and I've always said that this is the Green Bay of the South.
Yeah.
It's a one-horse town, right?
Yep.
From the horse's mouth. It is
Totally.
a one-horse town,
Yep.
and it's a place where people can touch the team. People could come up and say, hey, Tom, love that tackle you made to save the game the other day. Whereas opposed to you're in New York or Dallas, you never see those guys.
No, you never see them.
They get in their SUVs and they leave the underground parking and they go to their home.
Yeah, no doubt
Different
about
world.
it. No doubt about it. You know, during the pandemic, I was running up in Atlantic Beach by you, but went by Coughlin, Coach Coughlin's house. He's working out there. And it's funny, he says to me, we start talking, and he says to me, he goes, you know, I had to be tough on you guys.
Yeah.
And he said Boston College too. He's like, but BC starting an NFL franchise, I had to be. And I was like, Coach, what is this, confession? You're like, I'm
a little
good.
bit.
It was. It might have been.
No, there's a little of that.
But I think he was absolutely right. How did you feel with Tom Coughlin and what he did? I mean, the startup team and getting success in that year two and then beyond.
Of course, looking back, through the lens of hindsight, I mean, he was absolutely the perfect person for the job. I mean, he knew what it took. It's so hard to win in professional football.
No doubt.
People don't know that. They think, well, you just get a great quarterback and you go. No, it's not that easy. If you do everything right, it's still tough.
No doubt.
And if you make mistakes, and the Jaguars have made their share of mistakes, I mean, then it's really, really difficult. Tom was tough on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
There's a story that used to go, don't let Tom make a decision, because then every decision becomes his, right? So there was a time where they're going to paint the hallway. And they painted, a teal on the bottom and a gold stripe and black on the top. And he didn't like it. And they asked him, and he goes, I don't like it. I want it this way. So they painted it the way he wanted it. But then he didn't like the shade of black or the gold. I forget what it was. But so he was hard on everybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Tom understood what it took to win, and he understood that demanding excellence
Yeah.
was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And he cared as much as he expected you to care.
Yeah.
So, there probably is a little penance there.
Yeah.
Because he's at that stage of his life where he wants to connect with everybody.
No doubt.
And I know you guys and I
Yeah.
want to connect with him.
Oh, love him.
So important.
Do anything for him.
He should be the next guy in the pride of the Jaguars.
I agree. And Hall of Famer, in my opinion.
Oh, there's no doubt.
He's got the resume.
There's no doubt, but
Yeah.
you see a lot of coaches out there. Mike Shanahan is with him there with
Right.
2 Super Bowl
Yeah,
rings.
right, right.
I think that. Well,
Anytime he'll get there.
Dick Vermeil just went in at 86.
Right,
He
right.
may have to wait a couple more
He
years.
might have to, no doubt about it. I think, look, I was talking to some of my teammates about this past weekend. What Tom brought in as people, like guys, especially players,
Right.
were guys that could handle him.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't, he got rid of you.
Right.
So he brought, like when he recruited me, like I'm out of football 2 years,
Right.
but he knew that I would do anything he asked me to do because it didn't bother me if he yelled at me.
Well, it's a tough man's
no
game.
big deal. Yeah.
It's not a nice game.
No,
I think
right.
people forget that. I mean, they see you guys shake or guys take a knee at after the game, but it's not a game for well-adjusted men.
Right.
You have to play the game with a degree of malice in your heart.
Totally.
Because I mean, it is a violent game.
Violent.
You can try your best to create a safety protocol, but it's still about big men slamming into each other 35, 40 times a game. I was with Donovan Darius the other night, and the question was asked, could you play the game today? Well, if he was in top physical shape, sure. But could he play the game by the rules? Well, I don't know.
There's a lot of rules.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he played
different.
with such a hammer. So did you. And it's really tough. So he brought in guys that could play the game the way the game was meant to be played. Big, strong, physical, tough, and demanding that you have your feet on the floor and your shirt tucked in. That's demanding? I didn't
No,
think
that was
so.
pretty simple.
I got 3 boys, right? Two of them
yeah.
are playing high school football right now. I don't want to hear when they have to go early for a meeting.
Right.
I don't want to hear that they didn't like the way the defense was called. Shut up and play.
That's right. That's right.
Right? So Tom's having an influence
good for you.
generations down the road.
No, it's good. Good that I hear that because today you don't hear that a lot, right? It was always like if you ever complained about the coach, your parent would be like, "It's not the coach, it's you."
100%.
It's
Drop
not the
and
teacher,
give me 20
it's you.
right now for even insinuating that it's the coach's problem. Yeah.
Exactly, no doubt. All right, so as you look back, right, you got Tom, then you had Jack Del Rio who had his moments, then you had Malarkey, who was for next?
Malarkey came in.
And then Marone.
Then Gus.
Right, or Gus, right? Gus, that's right.
We forget he was such a great guy.
Yeah, totally great guy. But here, back to my point, like he wanted to be such his players coach. We had a lot of young guys. That doesn't work.
He was the Google head coach, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was that guy where everybody created their own schedule. I mean, that's exaggerating, but you understand that.
No, yeah.
He wanted you to worry about you.
Totally.
He didn't want you to worry about
yourself.
Right. He didn't want you to worry about team.
Yep.
He thought that if you would come in and play at your highest level, then I would do the same thing and the guy next to me. And if everybody came in, that's how you create a team.
Right.
Well, I mean, I like that approach as a
theoretically, it sounds awesome.
54-year-old, right? I like to be in charge of my own schedule. But again, football is the ultimate team sport. That Google-esque modern approach, I mean, it's still a caveman game. Even as sophisticated as the passing
who
game
out hits who? Which is great.
100%.
I mean, we love it. That's why we love it.
Yeah,
don't take that away from the game of football.
Well, if you take the game of football away, then it's basketball on grass.
That's right. No,
I don't want to watch basketball on grass. I love college basketball.
Yeah, of course.
I want to watch it on the hard court at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch it on grass.
No doubt about it. All right, we're not going to get into Urban Meyer because that was
Please,
just
I don't even say his name.
Let's move past that. But you got Doug Peterson now.
He's great.
I like him a lot. I like what he stands for. He's got the track record, got the resume. I think, as fans, and we're fans.
100%.
We want wins.
Right.
We're all dying for a winning team.
We want what's best for the franchise because, as you alluded to earlier, when the franchise is good, the city is better.
The city's great. Yeah,
so we have to have that. Doug is the right man for the job.
Why do you say that? Just out of your opinion.
Well, okay, so he came into the game as an undrafted rookie free agent, someone that you can relate to, right?
Totally.
He came in with Shula and Marino, and then he went to Holmgren and Favre, and then he connected with Andy Reid. He's won a championship as a player. He won one as a coach. He has the right temperament. He just, you know what he is? He's the big brother. And he's putting his arm around a franchise that's been anxiety-ridden forever. Are we going to make it in Jacksonville? Can we win? Can we sell tickets? And he's got this arm, and it's like, let me show you how to do this. And it's calm. The whole franchise feels calm, despite the flurry of activity around the Hall of Fame and Tony this year.
Yeah, sure.
It feels calm. He's the right guy.
He's a calming influence.
100%.
Okay.
The players believe in him, especially the quarterback.
Okay.
The coaches believe in him. He's absolutely got the right. The first couple of weeks, he was a goalie. Hockey goalie in the playoffs. They say standing on your head, calling all the right shots. He's got that. Now, some teams have caught up a little bit, and he's got to go do that again to get them ready. And he still has to have the big picture. Because it was never about, here comes Doug Peterson. Jaguars are going to the Super Bowl this year. It was, here comes Doug Peterson. He'll get it on track.
Yeah, he'll change everything.
He's got it on track.
Okay.
Got to have a big picture.
Okay.
But I believe in this guy.
All right. You're going to even give me the critique, too, because I'm not as patient.
It's hard to be.
And I'm not as patient with Trevor.
Right.
But I keep hearing, and not just locally, from guys that I talk to, Sean Salisbury's the world. He's got it. He's going to be good.
He's going to be fine.
You've got to be patient.
Do you understand? Aaron Rodgers, who's probably the best overall quarterback in the game today. Tom, he didn't play from the year he was drafted in 2005 until 2008. He sat for 3 years.
I know.
Let's go back a generation. Terry Bradshaw was drafted in 1970, but didn't become the full-time starter until 1974. Right. And in between there, in 1972, it was, the Immaculate Reception. I mean, we don't have patience anymore. And in Jacksonville, we don't have a lot of patience, Tom, because we've endured a lot of losing. We're like, come on, let's go.
Right.
You see Justin Herbert in Los Angeles.
Herbert.
But he lands with
Mahomes.
Keenan Allen. Well, he lands with Andy Reid.
I know.
This kid lands with, Urban Meyer, whose name I don't want to say again, right?
True.
What a disaster that was.
Okay.
He's now with the right guy. He's got good receivers. He's got a good offensive line. I think he's got a tremendously talented defense.
Yeah.
He still needs that X factor. When we were in Atlanta, I watched Kyle Pitts. You see that guy, you're like, we have to stop him.
We need one.
Who on the Jaguars offense do you say, if we don't stop him, we don't win?
Right.
Well, nobody.
I'd like to see it be ETN.
Well, I would think so too, but we haven't seen it yet.
No, right.
And the receivers they have are good, but they don't have that game breaker, game changer, play above the X's and O's. Jamar Chase, right? They've got to get that guy. When they do, this guy will play like Herbert, like Rodgers, like Burrow.
All right.
I believe that to my core. They just need to add some things.
Be patient out there, people. Patience. It's a virtue. I don't always have it, but we got to have a little bit patient, right?
I don't either. Here's where I lose my patience. It felt like against the Texans that the Jaguars had a chance to make a statement.
I know.
Here we go, right? We're gonna go and we're gonna be 3-2 and go into Indy and then be 4-2. I felt like, but I got ahead of myself too, and I forgot that the quarterback is young and he's seeing things that he hasn't seen before. And we all expect Trevor Lawrence to play like Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. This ain't Clemson, and you know that. So do I.
Great job, my man.
Good to see you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Appreciate you.
We're going to do more of this.
As much as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome to have Brian Sexton, the original voice, good friend of mine with the Jacksonville Jaguars organization from day one. You can see more of these interviews at iwannabuzz.com. Until next time, stay safe and be cool out there. We'll see you right here on The Horse's Mouth. Cheers.